And Deb home. This is my father, David Paziska, and my mother, Lynn, is a kindergarten teacher at Dupree School, and she could not be here due to a sick coworker. We are both from District 1. My father lives just outside of Dupree, and I live close to Thunder Butte. My wife and I have 2 kids, with 1 on the way. I have been ranching my whole life with my father, and I enjoy teaching my kids our way of life and how to take care of the land so that it can take care of us. I do have a little range unit north of Greengrass. This has allowed me to build my cattle numbers and has got me on my feet. This unit is not big enough for me and my father to run cows together. I am willing to give up range unit 113 to get range unit 236 so we can ranch together. Together, we can fill up this range unit 100%. By giving up range unit 113, it would allow someone else a chance to get started.
Good morning, everyone. As Patrick said, my name is David Lee John. Some of you might know me by Paziska. And I would appreciate your support for this range unit. As you know, I recently got off of range unit 170 out of honor and respect for the family. Range unit 170 was always Alex Guerrero, aka John Moon, and Gladys Looking Horse's range unit, or their lease. I was just lucky enough to get to run cows with him there for the last 12 years. I assisted with fencing, branding, moving cows, working cows, water development, building fabricated windbreaks, and haying, and all the aspects of ranching. When Gladys asked me to try it alone, I said yes, and I left. I held on to my livestock, hoping to find a lease to run on. If awarded this lease, it would give me or us an opportunity to run my cows, and I'm willing to take care of the land, and we'll be good to it.
I would also like to say that we are willing to help build fence that may be needed to separate the privately owned land and to maintain existing fences. We are willing to maintain and improve any existing practices such as ponds, pipelines, and tanks. We are in favor of the CREP program, and we are willing to sign up as soon as it becomes available. We appreciate your support for the range unit allocation. And do you have any questions of us?
Mrs. Hall?
Mr. Paziska, Dave, I think you said that you would treat the land good. Can you give me an example of what good is?
Well, I think my best example would be range unit 170. In 1998, when I first came to Cheyenne River as the tribal liaison for the NRCS, range unit 170 was one pasture. And when I left up there, I think there's 14 or 15 pastures now. We've got water development in every pasture. We've put some fabricated windbreaks on it for protection for livestock. And we had a rotational grazing system, so that way the grass would be better. And we rest some pastures so they're, set aside for wildlife. And, I left that range unit better than when I first seen it. And I would do the same with this range unit, so.
Thank you, just what I was looking for.
Any more questions? Mrs. Whitefeather?
Thank you. You guys know we have the fair every year, and in the past, they've asked range unit when they come in for interviews if they're willing to donate a cow for the fair, for the feed. Is that something you guys would be interested in doing?
Yeah, I could donate one year and Patrick could the next.
I have also
Thank you.
I have also in the past donated beef to the powwow for Dupree and down in Red Scaffold as well. During COVID, I didn't have a range unit, and I also donated a cow to the elderly, I believe it was at that time.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Any other comments, council members? Ms. Lee, go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you for coming, Dave and Pat. I know I did speak with you, and I knew you were on a unit previously and all that, and built it up and everything, and that's good. You've got the cattle, to stock it and everything. I'm glad that Pat, that you said where your family's from, where you came from, and all that, because people may not know that. Art and Del Marie were your grandparents, maybe, that don't know you, but I grew up in the BIA down the street from Art and Del Marie, and my older siblings were always friends with Linda and Terry. And I think Mom used to babysit for Dave and Dean when they were little, so they were ornery. So I always tease them about that.
Still are.
But anyway, I'm glad you guys came, and I just wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would also like to point out that we would be able to stock this range unit 100%, but since it's so late in the year, we could possibly take some outside cattle in from the other 13 people here if they are needing a place to go. So long-term goal is to just have our own, but for this first year, we would possibly be able to take some in for the people here that are needing a place to go.
Mr. Knife?
Patrick, so 113, you'll let that go if you do get this?
Yep. So 113 is a little bit small. I would never ever complain about the size of it. It's a great unit. It's close to the road. It's everything I ever wanted it to be. And if it's the only one I get, I'm going to hold on to it forever. But being able to give that up so my father can have a place to go now and that we can ranch together is ultimately, a dream come true. And it has helped me get established on my feet. Being so close to the road, it's close to Eagle Butte. All the neighbors are really great. And I feel like if another young rancher needs a chance to get started or get established or wants to start getting into ranching, that would be a perfect unit for somebody else to get. So
Where's that located? Is that by Greengrass?
Yep,
South,
so-
west, east, north?
Yep, so it's just across from On the Tree Road.
Oh, okay.
It has the big rock there for the Veterans Memorial,
Okay.
I believe. And yeah, so I would be willing to give that one up if we got this one.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Thompson?
I believe that's Thad Rose.
Okay, well, we appreciate the application, and we wish you luck in this all. So thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and good luck today.
Okay, so next up we have Roger Aberly. She should have handed you guys all an application. According to your schedule of applicants, he does not have a range unit at this time. Any questions? No.
Mr. Aberly, come on up, and there's a mic up here for you, and we'll give you the 5 minutes to present to council on why you want the range unit, and after that, the council might have some questions for you. So, but with that, we'll give you the floor.
My name's Roger Eberly, and the only thing that separates me from this, on some of the land I already lease, is a fence line, so it's right in my neighborhood. That's the reason I've put in for it. So if you got any questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Morning, Robert.
Is that land that you lease, do you have a range in it?
No. I got a farm pasture on what we call Grandma Amy's stuff.
Any other questions for Mr. Aberly, council members? Do you have anything else for us, Mr.
No, I
Aberly?
mean, that's all I got. It's right next to me, and
Next door, huh?
I'd like to have it, so.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Well, thanks for coming in. Yep.
Okay, so next we have Tylen Gill LeBeau and Cheyenne LeBeau. And Michonne is passing out applications right now. And they currently do not have a range unit.
Hey, council, we'll get started again. We want to bring the next one in. Or did you present this, Carly?
Okay, so next we have on the list Tylen Gill LeBeau and Cheyenne LeBeau, and they currently are not permitting any range units.
Sergeant at Arms, go ahead. Come on up. We got a mic up here and some chairs. We got 5 minutes for you all to present your case to the council on why you want the unit, and then after that, the council might have some questions for you.
I wrote stuff down because I get so nervous when we speak, so I just wrote it down. Hamadakiapi, Lexiota Amachiapi, Sihasapa Alwati, Ina Tammy LeBeau, Na Ate Joseph LeBeau Jr. Ichiapi. Hello, I am Tylen Gill LeBeau. I was born and raised in Blackfoot, South Dakota. My parents are Tammy LeBeau and Joseph LeBeau Jr. I was lucky enough to grow up on my family's ranch in Blackfoot and have learned about agriculture through many hours of working outside with my dad. I am a fourth-generation rancher and the first female rancher in my family. Outside of ranch work, I teach fourth grade in Timberlake Elementary and have recently become a mother. I pride myself on being an educator in the reservation I grew up on. I come here today asking for a shot at becoming one of the few female Native Americans to run cattle on their own lease and for a chance to be successful. My family has ranched for 4 generations, and out of those 4 generations, we have had the same lease. This lease has been greatly appreciated and has been used by many family members. The problem with this lease is no one is allowed to grow. There's 4 family members that are running cattle on this lease right now, and it doesn't allow us to get any bigger. As of now, I'm also running with my cattle with them, which results in no one being allowed to grow. If another family member wants to run cattle on our homeland, they would have, unfortunately, not be allowed to because the lease is already at its max. I would love the opportunity to grow my herd and run them beside my family in the place I grew up, which is only miles from this unit. I would love the chance to provide my family with generational wealth. Receiving this lease would be life-changing for me. I would be able to move back to my home, to the place where I learned it all. I'd be able to raise my children around my family in agriculture. All I ask before leaving is that you give someone a small chance. You give a small operation a chance to grow and find its success. I am sure you will come across candidates today whose families run on multiple units and whose ranches are well established. In a perfect world, everyone would deserve a unit, but this is one unit. I would love to see it go to someone who truly needs it.
Good job. Council members, any questions? Mr. Thompson and Mr. Walters.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for coming, Tylen. Geez, you make me feel old.
You are old.
Believe it or not, I coached her in high school basketball, if you can believe that. Geez, these kids grow up. I'm old, hey. And you got a baby. Good for you. No, that's a good family. She's a good person. I wish you nothing but the best. Congratulations on your newly marriage and your new baby.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. That's all I got, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Walters, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say very good words, young lady.
Thank you.
I'm from down that way originally. Knew the LeBeaus all my life. You know, considered them family. Remember Grandma Emma and the bunch, Joy, Ange, and yeah. So I just want to thank you. That's very impressive words.
Thank you. It took me a while I had people reread this, and I'm like, I don't know what else to say. So I just wanted to tell you everything.
Any other comments or questions, council members? Well, thank you, Tylen.
Yeah, thanks for making that easy. I was stressing out.
Okay, next on our list is Cal Peterson. He currently does not have any grazing permits with the tribe. I do believe he does have a farm pasture. And I'd have to, I don't recall which one. Okay, are we calling him in now?
Yeah, I have a chair, Cal. When you're ready, you can turn your mic on, and we'll give you 5 minutes. You can tell the council why you want the unit. And after that, if there's any questions from the council members, we'll do them. We'll give you the floor.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm Cal Peterson. I was born and raised right here in Eagle Butte, and went to school down in Oklahoma for a little while and learned how to do something, I guess, and with a computer, and I never opened one since I come back here and ride horses around in some circles, and that's what I kind of like to do. We got a little place north of Bear Creek now, and me and my family, and starting to build up, I guess, and get something going. And got a few cows around that sure could use a little grass to eat, and we've been always wanted one of these. I've been putting in for them since I was 18, and I think I'm 41 now, so it's been a couple of days since I've tried these. But we run some. Family really helped us out a lot, and they my uncles let me run some with them in different places. But it'd sure be good, like anybody, to have one of these. And guess I'm not much of a public speaker. I kind of stick to myself a little bit, and don't go out and do too much. I kind of stay home and like to rope a little bit and pull on some colts every once in a while. And it's kind of, I guess, my life story, I guess, is any way I could put it. I'm just a cowboy, I guess, and try to be anyway. So I guess I don't have much else to say unless you guys have any questions. But, yeah.
Thank you. Tribal Council, looks like we have Mrs. Hall. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Cal is one of my former students, and it's 41 years old. Wow. Are you married? married?
Yes, yep.
You've got a family?
Year-old. He wanted to come along, but I'd have to hang weights in him and tie him in the back over here because he'd have been on the table by now, I'm sure. So.
I remember in 7th grade language arts class, I gave the students a choice. Well, I wanted to know what their interests were, and then we would use that to explore in our reading. And Cal picked King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. So we did a whole unit on that, and it really engaged not only Cal but all the students in the class, and we had a pretty good time with that unit. So anyway, it's good to see my former students doing well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Moran, go ahead.
Morning, Mr. Peterson. Hi. Is that you that moved just
Yes,
right
sir.
west of Bear Creek?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yep.
It's a new place. I was
Yes.
wondering all this time we lived there.
Yeah, it's been good one. We leased that place for about 10 years, and then they finally decided they would sell it to us. So that we made a deal with them. We finally got something there, and so we've been building. Well, you see what we do every day. That's what we do is work on that thing.
Who had that?
Belda Edwards was her name. She
Edwards.
passed away, and then her daughter, she decided to let us get it. So,
Thank you.
yes, sir.
Council, any more comments or questions? Well, thank you, Mr. Peterson. I wish you the best.
Oh, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Oh, thanks. Let's see.
Okay, next on the list, we have Dylan Duchesneau and Mary Jane Duchesneau. And Michonne is passing out their applications right now. Dylan does have range unit 127. I didn't bring my list. And on your schedule of applicants, it does state he has range unit 127, and he has currently a carrying capacity of 130 AUMs year long. If he is awarded range unit 236, he will still remain under the 400 AUM cap in accordance with Ordinance 71.
Dylan, come on up. There's a mic up here, some chairs. Well, you can turn your mic on, and then we'll give you 5 minutes to present your case to the council on why you want the range unit. And then after that, if council has questions, we'll take those questions at that time. So yeah, whenever you're ready, you can turn your mic on. There's a button you press there.
Hello, council. My name's Dylan Duchesneau. I'd like to address all you guys here today. Thank you for meeting. I did make an attempt to contact some of you. I didn't get a hold of very many of you, but I assume you guys know who I am already, and I figured I would just address what I mean to address right now in front of everyone. I will be 32 years old. I've ranched my whole life. my dad used to tell stories about having to tie me on the horse with saddle strings so I could take a nap when I was checking cows when I was a little guy. He used to brag about that, be proud of that. He used to say he probably ponied me more miles than a lot of people have ridden themselves. And that ranch is all I've ever known. I've owned. By the time I was 18 years old, I had close to 50 head of cows bought, and had some horses, and I was rodeoing, and I tried ranching right out of high school. I took a year off, and I couldn't get along with my dad, so he said, well, if you're gonna better yourself, I'll take care of your cows while you go to school. So I went to school in Mitchell Tech and rodeoed, and I went for wind turbine technician and welding, which I didn't take too seriously, I'll be honest with you. I mostly just needed the time to get away from the ranch. And when I came back, I tried ranching with my dad for a couple years after, and we couldn't get along, so I ended up having to have a full dispersion then. And I, kind of just made day money, working at the sale barn, helping other people out around the reservation while maintaining my name on 127 with my dad. And that's one thing I'd like to add right now is if I'm awarded 120 or 236, I'm willing to take my name off 127 and give that sole ownership to Jaden Duchesneau. Soon as all this happened, I seen this coming right off the bat, and I didn't know which route to go about it. And I think the best route was to secure 127 and give that to my neighbor who works very hard and helps me anytime I want. And he's earned it in my book. And I don't have any ownership to that, and I'm completely fine with stepping away from that if awarded 236. Going through so much right now. I own 40 head cows and starting to build back my herd. I got a few head of horses. I got 2 studs, two geldings, 1 mare. And I'd like to buy more as soon as this estate gets settled and stuff, and maybe buy some of my dad's horses and continue the bloodlines that my dad had started. Me and him both have been working towards for 20 years now. And it broke my heart to sell all the cows, but it was something that needed to happen for the estate matter. And I would like to add that if I was awarded 236, I will have 50% by the end of this year. I am in good standing with a Kipitan. I've taken a $90,000 loan out and paid it off same year, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now. I have good standing with Dakota Bank and willing to go on with the program that my dad started, my grandpa started. Me being 5th generation rancher to the area, and I help out all my neighbors. I know everyone around there, they know me. I wouldn't expect any of them to have a bad word to say about me, and I don't have a bad word to say about any of my neighbors. But I live on the land. I own thousands of acres around 236, and I would like to continue on building my grandpa's legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Did you want to add anything, or?
Well, I just want to say, I know most of you know me, but, my name's Mary Jane Duchesneau. I was, part of the big operation for over 20 years. It's unfortunate, the sudden passing of their dad has resulted to where we are today. And, as a producer, Todd and I took great pride in the land. For years we took care of Uchimaka. We maintained it. We never overgrazed it. We were always 50 and more % owned. He was a cattle producer. I was the horticulture part of it, and I was a food producer. We took great pride in the land that we were, privileged to operate on, and took care of it. And, food sources is a big, huge part of life. And that is something we both had
taken very serious, for many, many years, and passing on that knowledge and experience down to my kids and, other generations before us, we learn from. And, and that's where I'm at right now, is to continue on that same legacy, and maintaining like we did before. We did a lot of improvements, and a lot of money went into this range unit over many years, with the back history, and it's already been proven. But we did always take great pride in that part of our life with being producers, and we want to continue that. It's unfortunate. But we stay strong as a family. We pray, to get us through these challenging times that we had to face these last, year and a half to 2 years. We've suffered a lot of heartache, a lot of loss. And as the mother, I love all my children and my grandchildren. And to continue on the legacy, my son that's all he's ever known. And my youngest son, who is here to support us and support his brother, has also that same, future in that. Horse therapy, giving back to Unchimanka in so many ways and taking care of the land, and equine therapy is one of the biggest things that my son is kind of came into his own on a natural. It's his natural ability to work with horses. Dylan broke his first horse at a very, very young age, and he has established so much and trained so many horses and broke so many horses. And with the challenges and the unfortunate situations we have faced and endured, and as a tribe, and as our youth and the addictions that we face, the future plans of our with the reservation on rehabilitation. We also want to establish something to that effect on equine therapy, to provide for, the future operations to incorporate that as well. A lot of changes, a lot of, good things are happening with moving forward on so many levels when it comes to growth and understanding. But all in all, that's been our home, their home. And, we take great pride in that.
Thank you. Council, you have questions for Dylan or Mary? Mrs. Hall, go ahead.
Hello, Dylan and Mary Jane. When you first came back last fall, and you mentioned that if you did get this unit, was awarded 236, that you would give up 127, okay? And you have that with Jade?
Jaden.
Oh, Jaden Ducheneau. That's your cousin?
Neighbor, more so, but he's a distant relative. Yes.
Okay, so then if you give that up, then he would run his cattle with you on 236? Is that what you were?
Probably.
Okay. And then the second question was, you had mentioned that you owned land within Range Unit 236. On this paper that I'm reading, it says 640 acres allotted. Do you own all 640 acres? No?
The 640 acres is not related to Mr. Dylan Ducheneau or the other sibling. It is other individuals, other tribal members. The land that he had inherited was not at all included in Range Unit 236 when advertised.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's all the question I have.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
According to the grazing ordinance for open allocation, did I hear you say that you have a home, permittees who own a home or land within a range unit? You have a home within the range unit?
Yes.
Okay,
I live there.
thank you.
Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for coming this morning, Dylan and Janie. Tribal Council, this is, to me, since I've been here, this is the toughest part of our job, giving one of these out. It really is. It's tough. And, visiting with my dad last night, and him sitting here for all the years he did, and I said, geez, Dad, this is the toughest part of the job. And he said, when I first got in, that's when the tough part was, because everyone would come into the council and it was a free-for-all. Some would get it back, and he was getting punched in the back. But he did tell me something good about it. He said, I'm going to tell you something about that ranch down there. He said, back in the 70s and 80s, it was a tough time for our Indian producers around here. FHA and PCA, them programs were foreclosing on a lot of people, taking their land. And he said, you know what? It'd be Dylan's grandparents, Tony Duchesneau and his wife, Celestine. He said, they was one of the few people that succeeded in that time. He said, back in them days, people looked up to that individual because he kept his ranch together. He expanded in difficult times. So he said, tell that to his grandson when he gets up there tomorrow, and tell him what kind of people he comes from, and encourage him to, no matter what happens, to keep going forward and keep working hard, because there's been a lot of good people that have used that land and have succeeded. And I just wanted to let you know that, Dylan, that you come from a very good family, and I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to add that I would take my name off, and Jaden would just have his name solely on 127 is what I would like to add, just to clarify.
Ms. Haskell, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a couple questions for Carly. Of the 6,700 acres, how many does Dylan currently own?
6,700 acres within Region 236?
Yes. He is.
My land would need to be fenced off separate.
If he chooses to include that, if he is awarded Region 236, he has that option, provided that it stays under the 481. Okay, total carrying capacity. However, should it be awarded to somebody else, there would be a mile of fencing that would need to be done to separate his land and the tribal land.
Okay. And currently, Dylan, you said you have 40 head of cows?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have financing available to fill the rest of your 50%?
Yes, I do.
Has that been provided? Or a copy of the application for funding? No?
Well, we applied, at the time when we put it in there, so they got a copy of our plan on there. We weren't told to bring any.
No, I was just asking. No, it's not a requirement. I was just asking if there was, if you guys had looked at financing options.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Duchesneau? Mrs. Hall, go ahead.
Point of clarification, and this is probably Carly. So on the map that you gave us, the yellow part, if they get the unit, then that would not have to be fenced, right? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's it for the questions from council. Mr. Duchesneau, we thank you for coming in, and we wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the schedule is Robert Smith, Brady Ward, and Jay Smith. Currently, these three individuals are not, do not have a grazing permit with the tribe.
Come on up to the mic. Have a chair, Mr. Ward, Mr. Smith. Over here, Brady. Yeah. Can turn the mic on when you're ready to talk. We'll give you the 5 minutes to address council and tell them why you want the unit. And then after that, we might have some questions from the council members, so we'll take those at that time. So I'll give you the floor at this time, though.
Well, good morning, Mr. Chairman, Madam Secretary, and Treasurer, sorry about that. It's been a lifetime dream of me and my cousin Robert to have a range unit of our own. We want to be good stewards of the land. We would like to rotate our cattle from 2, 3, 4, 5, run them for 6 months, and then 7 and 8 for 3 months. Rotate our cattle so there's always grass there and the grass will always come back. We want to be good stewards of the land for sure. We would like to, on the communities down there, the communities are the backbone of the reservation, so we want to utilize the youth. If there's any youth that want to be a rancher, up and coming rancher, we're always open arms, bring them in, show them a little bit. They can help us, we'll help them out. And we're not afraid to, as we get bigger and better, as we prosper, donate a beef to the community to help out. If the community needs any help at all they got to do is give us a call. I'll let Robert say a little bit so I don't take up all the time.
Well, you know, first of all, it's a honor to and a privilege to have a unit to raise cattle and take care of your Toshpe, your relatives and the communities and we've all done that. Brady's one of the hardest working gentlemen I know. He drops of a hat, he'll come and help you. And in the community outreach, we'd be willing to do that to help the youth out, to be mentors, educators, and prosper in the ranching businesses. You know, we got cows and we want to be ranchers, and we want to also be contribute to the communities, like Brady said. You know, it's my lifelong dream. Been all my life wanting to be a rancher. Been around ranching, help neighbors all the time, all across the reservation. I've done ranch work and helped people, and we're just looking for the opportunity to be ranchers ourselves and be stewards of the land and contribute to the communities and be good Lakota neighbors to the people that live in the area down there, where the range unit's at. And we just request that you guys consider us to operate and take care of that property down there. And that's about what I wanted to say. We sure appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Council members, do you have any questions for Robert or Brady? Mrs. Hall, go ahead.
Thank you for coming in and making application. I liked what you said about the willing to mentor young people that are wanting to get into the cattle industry. Where are you running your cattle now?
Other relatives that have space have been utilized for the last 3 years, but that changes every year. Now I got to find another place now. I'm kind of waiting to the decision of this today. to determine whether I'm gonna go. Might have to sell some to go lesser cattle to go to one particular place I got offered, but that's not a sure thing. So we're kind of putting all our nuts and bolts and everything in your decision today. So that's why we're here.
What family do you come from, Robert?
I come from, my grandfather was Bud Annis.
Okay.
Rita Smith, my mom, she was Bud Annis's daughter.
Okay.
And our descendants back to Dupree's family.
Okay. Good. Good.
Yeah, most everybody.
So you're related to our tribal projects director, Lyle?
Yeah, it's my brother.
Your brother, okay.
Yep.
Okay. I went to school here until I was in seventh grade, finished seventh grade, and then I left and went to St. Mary's School for Girls down in Springfield. And so, anyway, I'm kind of like getting to know people and families again. So anyhow.
Thank you.
That's good. I know Bud Annis and.
Yep, my grandfather.
And Brady, I used to babysit you. When I was really young, they trusted me with you.
I had no hair then, and I got no hair now.
I know. Well, you were older, a little older than that. So. Good to see you, Brady. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions for applicants? Go ahead, Mr. Knife.
Do you guys know the area pretty good?
Yes, very well. Been down there lots.
Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to comment that I think Kim babysits him now, Mr. Ward. No, sorry, I got to joke a little bit. But I just wanted to comment on Mr. Ward's rangeland experience that he really didn't talk about before any of that. He was a wildland firefighter for probably 15 years, so he's got a lot of experience in the area and taking care of the rangeland and identifying the different weather conditions and rangeland conditions.
Any other comments or questions? Mr. Moran, go ahead.
Brady, we need to shake hands.
Well, thanks for coming in, guys. So we wish you the best and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for giving us the opportunity.
Council will take a couple minute bathroom break. Don't take off though.
using permits with the tribe.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Tom. Mrs. Roman, we'll give you the floor at this time. You'll get 5 minutes to talk about why you want the range unit. And then after that, the council might have some questions for you. Then we'll do the questions, and that'll be it. So I'll give you the floor.
Good morning. My wife and I are here in hopes of having the honor of being caretakers of range unit number 236. We raised our family on range unit 204, and when we tried to leave it to our son Corey in 2008, it was taken away because we were the primary leaseholders, but Corey's name was on the lease. The reason was that we moved to Rapid City earlier that year due to jobs we had been offered in Rapid City. Range unit number 204 was paid by my family since leases began in the rehab program in the 1950s and was passed down through the family. When I tried to pass it on, it was taken away. The history of ranching says that you pass it on to your next generation. My family worked hard on that ranch, and when we lost it, our dreams were shattered and we were forced to sell our house. We couldn't come back and help our son brand his cattle and be proud of him and watch him carry on the family tradition. I know a family is only a steward of the land and the tribe owns it, but a person thinks of it as home. We've always missed ranching since we last lost range unit 204 and would appreciate the chance to try again. I have no cattle, but I can get a loan. I just don't have a place to run them right now. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Roman. Tribal Council, do you have questions, comments regarding the applicant? Mr. Moran, go ahead.
So, Tom, you had this other range unit since your parents, right?
Since leases began, and I think it was in the 1950s when they began with the rehab program. Everybody got an Oliver tractor and some cows and stuff, whatever. My grandma got it way back then. And yeah, we had it till 2008, so I guess a lot of years.
What was the reasoning it was taken away or whatever?
Well, they made a rule that if the primary leaseholder didn't live on the reservation, then you couldn't have it. But Corey was on the lease, so we thought, and he put in for it that fall. We thought, that it'd pass on to him, but.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any comments, questions for the Romans? Well, thank you for coming in, Tom and Marcia. Appreciate it, and we'll wish you the best.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, next applicant we have is Lane Eaton, and he currently does not have a grazing permit with the tribe at this time.
Hey, Mr. Eaton, go ahead and have a chair. Continue your mic on. We'll give you the 5 minutes for the, you can present why you want the unit to the tribal council, and then after that, we might have some questions from the council members, so. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody hear me? I'm Lane Eaton. I'm 23 years old. I got in the ranching business 4 years ago. I've been chasing grass the last 4 years. I've been running down a red scaffold on a lease. And last year I lost my PA early and had to pull my cows out of there a month early, and it put me in a pretty good bind. Had to sell some cows because I didn't have the grass to go back home with them. And then I was really helped my operation and keep myself going if I could get my hands on this deal. Because I got half the carrying capacity to run on it. And it's 100 miles from me, and I got all the equipment and everything to get cows there and set corrals up and be able to utilize it pretty good. And I've done this my whole life, been around it my whole life. This is the only thing I ever know. I'd really hate to get out of it. And that's really all I got. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, maybe just add, yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting a family. I just got married in September. And I'd like to stay here and raise them on the reservation because I grew up and lived here my whole life.
Mrs. Hall?
Lane, thank you for coming in and applying for the range unit. I have a couple of questions, and I hear these stories of wanting to build generational wealth, and building generational wealth is not the way that you build it. If you look at non-Indian ranchers and producers, where they build generational wealth is in the land, okay, owning the land. You would try, starting out to, to see farms and land that's available, especially the homesteaded land, non-Indian land, and, and building your generational wealth that way, passing it on. Because these range units, these tribal range units are, you won't ever own the land. You would only own the livestock, and that's it. Livestock and any kind of equipment. And, any barns or whatever that you erect and put on tribal land stays with, attaches to the land, stays with the land. So, and you're starting out, and, I believe you would probably have more access to capital than, say, somebody with a real Indian name, and looks Indian, because our people have a hard time getting loans particularly with these banks around here. And anyway, I'm just curious as to why, you're starting out, young people starting out like you that don't look at, you know, you have access to those farm programs, you know, I mean, that's, if I were starting out, that's what I would do, is try to build, own land. Try, you know, put money into owning land so that you know that you can pass that on to your kids. There'd be no strings attached. This, you have to apply for every 5 years, and whether you're going to get it or not is get it back. Unfortunately, politics plays into it. We all know that living here. And anyway, I'm just kind of curious as to why you don't use access to these farm programs to, you know, take out loans and buy. Because you've got 150 head of, you've got some capital there that you could leverage with that. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions for Mr. Eaton? Well, thank you, Lane, for coming in, and I want to say good luck to you, and hope it works out.
Okay, next on the list, we have Kristen Long, and she currently does not have any grazing permits with the tribe at this time.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Go ahead and turn your mic on, and then you'll get.
There we go.
We'll start the clock for the 5 minutes, and you can just tell the council why you want the unit, and then after that, there might be some questions. So, but yeah, you can go ahead and get started.
Okay. Hi, guys. My name's Kristen Long. This is my husband, Troy Long. We live just north of Timberlake. We both grew up on the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. We went to school in Timberlake. We both went and got college educations and came back. I was teaching in Timberlake for a few years, and I actually resigned last year to stay home with it. We have 4 little kids. Troy is a lineman for Moore Grand Electric out of Timberlake, and then he also runs cattle with his dad and his older brother. We're really hoping to expand our cattle operation. Right now, working with his dad and his brother, there's just not enough land and not enough feed to go around for all of them. So we would really, really like to branch off on our own and make a start for our own family now that we have 4 of our own kids. My family, actually, my grandma was Kiva-Dushno, so she grew up in the Promise area. Her family all stems from that area, and my godfather is actually Bobby, who runs right along the lease that's up for bid. So that land, that area is really important to our family as well. If we were privileged enough to get this, we would take such pride in the ownership of the land and make sure to take good care of it. We take pride in having good fences and being good neighbors to the people around us, and really striving for those values. Anything I'm missing?
We just mean a lot for our family, for our generation and our kids.
Yeah. Other than that, I think that's what I got for you guys.
Well, thank you, Kristen. Council members, do you have any comments or questions? Mrs. Whitefeather?
Thank you. Thank you for coming and applying. Every year, Tribe has their celebration, and some of the range unit holders would donate a cow for the feed. So is that something you guys would be interested in doing?
Yes, yes. Oh, sorry.
We would absolutely be interested in doing that. Yeah, absolutely. I've come down to it quite a bit with my kids and get to partake in all the activities. It's great. It's such a awesome event for our kids to be a part of too. So we would be happy to help participate and honor that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's good for us and our kids for coming down to see everything and somewhat giving back to everything. So
Go ahead. All right, thank you.
Council, Mrs. Lee, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman LeBeau. Good morning, Troy and Christian. It's nice to meet you. I know your Grandma Kiva and your Uncle Steve. So
yep.
And Pat's your dad, right?
What's that?
Pat's your father.
Yes, he is. Yep.
So it's nice to meet you.
You
I've
too.
met you before, so it's always good to see young people wanting to get a start in life in the cattle industry and doing all the things that you've done. You've gone to school and you're teaching, and we have a shortage of teachers nationwide. So
I want to come back. I'm not ready to be done doing that either. But
I see you got a baby. You need to focus on your children right now too. I get that.
Yep.
So it was just nice meeting you, and I want to thank you for coming. So
Thank
good
you
luck.
so much.
Thank you.
Any more? Mr. Thompson, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. Thanks for coming, Troy and Kristen. Wish you nothing but the best. She comes from a really good family. I get the opportunity to have breakfast with her grandfather about every day, Andy Aberley, and just a joy, good man, her Uncle Steve. But I want to let you know that her mother works for Tribal Health, and she comes to the White Horse and right? Is that your mom, right?
Yep. Curly to Aberley.
She comes to the White Horse and LaPlante Clinic, and she's the best thing that's been there since sliced bread. She is really good. She got me turned around on I'm a bad diabetic, and God, she's just a nice person and does good for our community members down there. And you just come from a good family, and I just want to let you know that, guys, and wish you nothing but the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Troy, for coming in. Hope you get it. So good luck.
Thank you so much.
Up next, we have Jamie and JC White Eyes, and they currently do not have a grazing permit with the tribe at this time.
Mr. Juarez, come on up. Have a chair.
Sorry, he's having a bad day at school, so I had to go get him. Feeling good now, though.
Right on. You can turn your mic on, and then we'll give you the 5 minutes. You can talk to council and tell them why you want the unit, and then council might have some questions after that. So.
Okay. Name's Jamie White Eyes. Tribal member. No, I seen a range unit come open. A few head of cows, so I thought I'd apply for it. Buy bump calves for these guys every now and then to nurse, but they get a little expensive this year, so I can't do that this year. But yeah, just trying to expand is all I'm trying to do. And that's all I have, I guess.
Thank you, Mr. Juarez. Council members, do you have any questions, comments? Mrs. Hall, go ahead.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I have a question in terms of how you would fill this unit. At least half, 50%.
I try to do it on my own with what little herd I have, and then if not, I'd seek help to the bank if I could. I don't plan on running any outside cattle or nothing like that. It's for me and my kids, my family would be, that's all it would be for.
So you would try to secure a loan?
Yeah, I would try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Council, you have any more questions or comments for Mr. White Eyes? Well, thank you, Jamie. Yeah. Thanks for coming in and applying. We wish you the best.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Our next applicants are Lucas and Melissa Curley, Megan Swan, and Donald Swan. Currently, Donald Swan holds range unit 273 with 54 AUM year long. So he does fall under the 400 AUM cap in accordance with Ordinance 71.
Come on up. There's chairs over here. We can. We'll give you the 5 minutes, and then Tribal Council might have some questions for you, so we'll take those thereafter. So, whenever you're ready, you can just get started. Turn your mic on.
Hihani Washday, we talk through Tomi Machiapi Hey, Melissa Curley Swan, Machiapi, Shunkova Kaska Alwati. Good morning, everybody. My Lakota name is Red Star Woman. My English name is Melissa Curley Swan. recently married, and I live in Whitehorse, South Dakota. I have my sister, Megan Swan, with me, my dad, Donald Swan, behind me, and then my husband, Lucas Curley. And we are coming here today to put in for this range unit to be able to help 3 producers instead of just 1. This range unit is able to hold over 200 heads, so we're hoping that we can all have a part of it. It'll help jumpstart what I've been envisioning when I first started working for Occupan. Some of you have heard of the organization. It's a community development financial institution, and I work with producers all across Indian country, and the main goal is to help with food sovereignty on different tribal reservations. And what stuck out to me the most was during COVID. We're overpopulated with cattle right now in South Dakota. There's more cattle here than there is people, but yet during COVID, when we walked into our local grocery stores, we were limited to beef. You could only get 1 pound a day, or 5 pounds for that week because of what was going on with the economy. So there are producers here on our reservation that already do direct-to-consumer sales, where they just butcher their own beef and then sell it directly to Native Americans here on the reservation. So that's my vision. It is going to take a few years to get that started, but the opportunity starts here with us and with all of your help. Right now, we do hold cattle. My dad got started over 15 years ago. He ranched for a local producer, and he was awarded, instead of working for cash, he was working for calves, and that's how he got started. And then he helped I and my sister get started with our cattle, and then he also provided cattle to our offspring, our kids. So it's just a family ordeal. We want to try to continue to grow. My dad does have a unit right now, but it only holds, I believe, 42 head at the moment. So it's not big enough for everybody. He also utilizes it for horses as well. So with this new unit, because it's broke down into different pastures, we would be able to utilize it all throughout the year by rotation. So it's not overgrazed or anything like that. We'd be able to winter down there. We're very familiar with that area. My husband, Lucas Curley, his mom is Beth Ducheneau, so their Ducheneaus are a part of that area down there, so he's well aware of that piece of land. He's helped Todd Ducheneau work cattle down there all throughout his life. So this would be a great opportunity for myself and my family. As said before, if we are awarded this, you wouldn't just be helping 1 producer, you'd be helping 3 producers. Be able to just continue to grow and to help operate at a better pace. So we're just here for the opportunity. If anybody else wants to talk.
She said it all.
I do want to point out, my husband actually works for the Beef Corporation under Jamie Murray. When we got that, when he was first hired, it was upside down. And it took him a couple years to turn everything around. We got all the cattle back on to their normal cycle. We got everything calmed down. There were wild cows. They basically had to fend for themselves for a couple years. And our family volunteers every single time that we are asked to help. We don't get paid for it, so we do help with that. We also do a lot of community involvement within the Whitehorse community. I and my father sit on our board there. I'm also on a lot of other boards here in Eagle Butte, such as the Head Start board, the Four Bands Community Development Board. I'm on that as well. So community volunteering is a big thing in our family. We just want to make sure that everybody is able to continue forward, especially living on the reservation here. It's really hard for us to get started because there's so many producers out there that want to raise cattle or want to farm or want to do whatever it takes, but there's just not enough range units available to everybody. And right now with all of us together, we could 100% put 100% cattle on the range unit. We already have financing. I've already been working with other traditional lenders as I'm not able to go through my own program. So that part is covered. We know all the ins and outs of how to be ranchers, but that's not all what it's about here. It's not just being your normal, typical rancher where you produce calves, raise them, and sell them at a sale barn. To me, it's about trying to utilize our tribal economies, utilize tribal businesses like, Prairie Beef over down in Swiftburg, or our own butcher shop over in Mobridge, utilizing those sources to butcher our own cows and then bring them home to be able to serve our communities here within Cheyenne River Sioux. So that's the way I'm gonna look at it if we get the opportunity, is just trying to help secure our food sovereignty. Because we are claiming that we are a sovereign nation, but in reality, how can we be sovereign if we can't feed our own people? If there's not enough beef in our grocery stores to be able to feed our own people during, a pandemic, what does that say about all the ranchers on the reservation? We don't know where these beef are being shipped out to. We don't know where our grocery stores are bringing in the beef to feed our people. So if we can get more producers that can do direct to consumer sales, where your beef is growing, what they're eating, the producer that is, taking care of those cattle. So to me, I would rather buy, DX beef, because I know the owner down in Armstrong, Kelsey Duchesneau, instead of going to Mobridge or Pier to a Walmart to buy, their beef, because you don't have to put on the beef where your beef is coming from anymore. So that's the ultimate goal. And I think, as stated before, I need all of your support to be able to do that. I've seen it succeed on other reservations, and I just want to bring it here to our own reservation to help our own people.
Thank you. That's great. I really like the food sovereignty that you're involved in. And councilmen, women, you have questions or comments? We got Mr. Knife and Ms. Haskell.
Thank you. I wanted to vouch for Lucas. He's doing a pretty good job down there. Jamie gave a report, and he's really doing a good with our elderly herd. And, I'm hoping the council supports that herd growing up to way up to at least 800 head, because we got the VE, and then that he can do it. He can take care of them, and that way, our elderly can get a lot of funding for that. Thank you, Lucas, for doing it.
Thank you, Lucas. And go ahead, Ms. Haskell and Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Best speech I've heard all day.
Thank you.
I wanted to say the same thing Buddy did about Lucas. He has put so much work into those cows down there. He treats them like his own. I have full faith that he would be able to manage his own herd with the amount of work he's done down there. We all know that White Horse would not function without Donnie. I try to go to the East End, and anytime I'm at that community center, he's running around doing everything he can for not just whatever's going on at the community center, still trying to fix people's houses, make sure people's kids are taken care of. Tuffy, I think, is right behind him in the workhorse station. And Megan, we know that there's a lot of students that rely on her. She's kind of like a little mother hen down there in the Duchesneau bunch. She takes care of a lot of people's children. Missy, I'm proud of her for all the work she's done at her professional life. They've really worked hard, you guys, and these are the kind of people that I got on council to support, because there's nobody that's gonna stick up for people that are our age. So every one of you, Lucas, you're doing good, and I'm proud of you, because you could have went down a whole different road too, but you're doing great things down there. But if you were to get a unit, that doesn't mean you get to quit.
Right. Nope. That's not at all. No.
Because seriously, the amount of work that he does down there is that he'd be hard to replace. And now we've heard that the Buffalo guys, and he's our cow guy, and then we got Buffalo guys, and they're working together to make these programs work, and it's just going really good. So I'm proud of all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to speak briefly on when me and Donnie first met doing carpentry work about 12 years ago. And ever since then, I've always looked to him as a friend and mentor for all the hard work and everything he does for the people and the communities here. And also Melissa's job through a Keepton, and I know I say it wrong, that's just the way I say it. They are a valuable asset to the producers on the reservation. When you go into her office, they have a map of the country and they have pins around the country where there's CDFI helps people. And when you look on Cheyenne River, they don't have enough room for all the pins on there. It's completely full. And I don't see any other places in the country where that's like that, at least in her office. So all the work she does for the producers there is really shown here. Thank you.
Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to brag a little bit because, I got a lot of respect for this family. First off, I want to talk about Donnie a little bit. I was born and raised in Whitehorse, and Donnie's got a couple boys. One unfortunately passed away here a few years ago, and I grew up with them. And Donnie played a big role in the young people down there in Whitehorse, from cutting our hair to showing us how to play basketball to just being a really, really good role model. He played a part in my life of why I'm the person I am today, because we got to look up to him, and a lot of young men did down there. And he's just a solid person. He works hard every day. And I will probably an elderly now, and you'd never guess it. He works hard every day. He raised a really, really good family. His kids are all really good. I got the privilege to this is my second one. I coached Missy in high school. God, I feel like I'm old. But really good family. And you know what? We got a really nice community in Whitehorse because of people like this, and our community works together. God, it's just a good day to talk, I'm just proud of this family. They're good, honest people. Lucas has turned that beef herd around. I see him every day working. Just their kids are really good. Donnie and Esther take care of some grandkids. They're just an all-around good family. I'm proud to know them. I'm proud to be their friends. And I wish you nothing but the best, because it's people like you that I feel good that I get to come here and try to help people like you. So thank you for your family, and good luck, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. DePriest.
I just want to say thank you to Lucas. We all know Ed sat here for many years, and the day of his wake or his services, they honored Lala Ed at the rodeo, and they had a couple pickup men out there, and it seemed like they didn't really know what was going on, and Lucas took it upon himself and came in and did a pickup man duties, and he wasn't asked, he wasn't told, but he just seen that it was struggling, and to me, this young man, it just shows that he has a good heart, a good family. And I just want to say thank you for that, Lucas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to echo what my colleagues have said about this family. They are really a good family with good family values. I had the privilege of teaching Marilyn and Sage, and working with them, to help them to overcome some of the problems that they had that was preventing them from being successful in school, and worked alongside Donnie and Colleen, and they were very supportive and very concerned about their children, and were willing to trust us at the school that we had the best interests of their children at heart in what we were doing. And I really appreciate this family, Donnie and Colleen. And that's how other people call her Esther. And when I met her, she was going by Colleen. And so whenever I talk about or mention to her that I saw them in Pierre or whatever, I'm visiting with my sister, and my sister knows her by Esther. And anyway, Colleen said, whatever, she goes by either name, but I really appreciate this family. And this to me is what we want our families here on Cheyenne River, what we're striving for. You're a good role model of that. And, anything that we can do to assist you to reach your goals, and the fact that you're doing this as a family, you're concerned about food sovereignty, you're concerned about issues that we as a tribal council are concerned about as well, being good stewards of the land, passing that on in a good way, to the being generous, all those Lakota values that we hope that our families have those values so that they can inculcate their children with those same kind of values, and we can keep our Lakota ways, thriving and flourishing into the next generations. So I wish you the best, and anything I can do to help you, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you think, Ms. Lee, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman LeBeau. And is it morning or afternoon? Yes, I guess it's still morning. I'm glad to see you guys here. I know that I met Missy years ago, and I'm glad to see she's in her job, that position that she's in now. They do a lot of good work over there. And I know Donnie, I remember when we gave you this unit back when, so it's good that you're still with it and everything. You're doing a good job, Megan, and I think I've never met Lucas before, so it's nice to meet you, Lucas. I just wanted to wish you the best of luck, and thank you.
Thank you.
Plummy.
Mr. Kessler?
Thank you, Chairman. I guess I'm a lot like Lucas and Donnie. I ain't got a lot to say, but we can get it done. So thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you.
Well, appreciate you guys coming in and doing the application, and we want to wish you luck and hope you get it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, our next applicants are Kelly LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Damon Gray Eagle, and Amber LeBeau, and they currently do not have any grazing permits at this time.
Come on up, Kelly, Shannon, Amber. We got some chairs up here for you. Somebody left their jacket there, I guess. You can, whoever's gonna talk, we got 5 minutes. Then after that, the council might have some questions. Yeah, turn your mic on, Shannon, and go ahead.
Hello, council. We come here, we want to apply for the unit. We believe that there's alternative to running cattle, growing other types of agricultural crops. Hemp is more productive type of a product that we could grow on the land. It gives a better return than cattle. And you guys are trying to tax it as well, so it will still generate a lot more revenue for the treasury. But but the things that we're working on with hemp, and the Economic Development Committee knows that already, what we're trying to get accomplished. We want to build a processing facility and other types of, various types of agricultural crops that we want to, our traditional crops we want to bring back. The Hochloza people, we have our traditional corn that we want to bring back. That's still out there that we can grow. So we want to look at alternatives to what encompasses the agricultural industry. And that's why we're here. And I heard a statement by Francine about the whatever you build attaches to the land. So is the tribe going to pay back and going to purchase whatever we build out there? So that's a dangerous position. Who really wants to invest in our communities if they're going to lose out on that type of level of investment? That creates instability.
I would like to speak.
Yeah.
I always like to talk, right? How many dakiapi chate washte na pe chuzapi chate washte. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting to speak, but I feel like I would like to add some things. I myself am the CEO of Lakota Ohunkaka Wojotapi, and I'm working with Shannon and his group with Walks to Earth, because a lot of our ideas, a lot of the things that we see for the future of our people is very aligned. So Shannon had asked me to come in and help where I can. So part of that is that with this range unit, if we are allocated that range unit, Walks to Earth has, everything set up for themselves for hemp to get started and really be the arrowhead and the spear for our tribe to get going through this process. They've done the research, they have the organizations lined up to be successful. And I know there's a lot of people out there talking about hemp right now, but who really has the infrastructure to get going and doing it, start prepping that crop, because there's got to be cover crops put in first. There's a lot of work that has to be done with the land. And so part of that, what we're going to help with is being able to run cattle that will transition to buffalo for our organization. And that buffalo, or the cattle and buffalo, would go to not only generating wealth for the organization, but those would directly help in feeding our communities. Lobo, my organization, is primarily to help economically develop La Plante or Tashna Wakba, but it's creating that template. Many of you guys heard the template process in the land meeting when I was talking about the land in La Plante. But our bigger goal, main goal, is to help all of our communities in District 6. And then we have other organizations like Walks the Earth that have the same plans with hemp, but for the whole tribe, you know? And I think it's very important that when us organizations get together like this with the greater good of our people, and for me, it's supplying food. Because ever since I've been home 10 years ago, I've witnessed people fighting over food in my communities and my district. So I spent the last 10 years researching and studying and working with people and networking and coordinating and doing all these things so I could find the best solution that helps everybody. Not just ranchers, not just farmers, not traditionalists, not just grassroots, not this, not that, because we're all Lakota here. We're all Lakota and we all matter. We all count. We all have the ability to make money for ourselves and to help each other. Okichiapi, that's who we are as Lakota. So all of that political stuff doesn't stand here with us. We're here with our chante to do something that works for everyone, to not fight, to bring people together. I have Tioshbaya that are rancher and farmer, and I know there's a lot of ranchers and farmers that want this range unit, but this, for us, is for the Oyate. It truly is for the Oyate. And I really hope that you keep that in your chante while you're making this decision. And any questions that you have for me, I'm certainly happy to answer. And I'll give it back to my elders here.
Thank you. Are you ready for questions or? Council, you have questions for the group? Mrs. Hall, go ahead.
Yeah, we had a presentation back on March 14th with Winona LaDuke and talking about hemp and growing hemp. One of the things she brought out is, or mentioned, was that we may want to, if we get into doing this, the ideal land to get this done is down in Armstrong County because it's rich in nitrogen, which you need. And one of the things she mentioned was that she would like, she grows hemp. She's got a farm, and she goes around giving presentations, really wanting tribes to look at growing hemp. And she suggested that as a tribe, she would like to see a tribe do a facility that decorticates the hemp and gets it ready for shipment out to whatever they want to make it into. And I don't know if you're thinking about doing something like that, but I think, I'm all for this because it has so much, it's so, it helps the planet and it has so many uses. You can build homes with it. They have hempcrete, there's just so much that this is nature's way, I believe, nature's gift to us. And so I guess my question is that the kind of facility you're looking at? You talked about a facility and manufacturing. And so if you got this range unit, that's what you would be building this facility and manufacturing center, correct?
One more time. All right, there we go. Durana Hybrid has developed the manufacturing center, and they already do fulfillment centers for like Amazon. So they're very well equipped to design these manufacturing centers that will do specifically that and make a whole bunch of different products. But also, there's also a different type of technology called a biorefinery, who can also mass produce a lot of things. And it's before the Economic Development Committee, all the information regarding that type of manufacturing center. The ones that we the biggest return on investment is to be able to make hemp graphene. Hemp graphene will replace the need to import rare earth material for the electronic industry. The car companies, they want the fiber because they can make cars completely out of fiber, which will make the cars lighter and stronger, 15% stronger than steel. So the cars will be lightweight and they'll be more sturdier than what's currently on the market. There's so much opportunity with hemp, far more than what you will do with cattle. We'll create jobs. Our projections will create over 30,000 medium income jobs. Now show me where does a range unit do that type of job development for our communities. Especially we live in very economically impoverished area, and we lack a lot of jobs, and we will create those jobs. And we have the finance being behind us, and to be able to get these things done. We're not here asking, we're just asking for land. We're entitled to equal access to our project idea to utilize to create not only opportunities for ourselves, but the community members and the people at large. And once these range unit holders, once they get it, it kind of stays within their families. We're not that way. That's not Lakota. That's not Lakota thinking. We do things for everybody, like Amber had indicated. We want to do this for everybody involved, especially our young people, to reintroduce them back to the land, because a lot of them have lost touch with the land. And that's important, is to be able to do that, to become better land stewards of our lands. And our lands have deteriorated over the years, and we watched it. And hemp will rebuild the soils. It will remove the pollution out of the air and produce better oxygen at the same time. So, and plus it has a lot of opportunities, like you kind of had shared, but there's so much more. And it's in our business plan that's before the Economic Development Committee. And it's far more superior than what's currently being proposed by any entity on this reservation. So hopefully that answers your question.
And they're gonna build all that stuff, right?
Yeah, they'll build these things. So they have the technology, the people that own the patents, they're basically kind of donating it for us to utilize because they want to help our people. There's good-hearted people out there that want to help us. So.
And we're just asking for a piece of land. We had other offers from Rapid City. You go out there, take this, Davidson County, Mitchell, Presho. But we want to start it here. We don't want to go anywhere else.
We want to help our people.
We want to help our people to sustain a life without having your hand out every time you walk around a corner. I hate that.
Any other questions or comments? Tribal Council members? Mrs. Lee, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman LeBeau. I just wanted to welcome you guys today, and I wish you the best of luck. I know that you've been to EDC committee with your proposals, Shannon, and also Kelly. And I think food sovereignty is really important. And hemp will restore these overgrazed lands. I mean, that's a fact. We know that. Any that is overgrazed. And I know that they use farm pastures for grazing. So I think you could use a grazing permit or as a farm pasture too. I'm sure that's been done for farming, so. And I think it's really important right now that we focus on economic development. Any of this hemp, cannabis and stuff, it was passed overwhelmingly by the people. So we need to honor the people's wishes. And as we're moving forward, I know it's been slow, and for some people, they're frustrated that's been taking so long, but we wanted to make sure that everything was legal and everything was, in place. So I'm glad that you guys came today. So I wish you the best of luck. Pilame.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming in, Shannon, Kelly, Amber. Is there any more comments or questions for the group? Mrs. Haskell, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to kind of elaborate on what Ms. Lee said, and I think what they're in search of here is a farm pasture lease, and in the ordinance, Shannon, there is the list of improvements, and everything that is created while you have the lease stays on the land and becomes a part of the property of the tribe. Thank you.
Council, any more questions or comments? Again, Shannon, Amber, Kelly, we thank you for applying and wish you luck. Hope you get it.
Our next applicant is James O'Leary, and he currently does not have a tribal grazing permit with Art at this time.
Hey, James, come on in and have a chair. You can turn your mic on, just press the button. We'll give you the 5 minutes to tell council why you want the range unit. And then there might be some questions after that we'd have for you. So we'll give you the floor at this time. So whenever you're ready.
Hello, council. Name's James O'Leary. I'm District 1. I know Joe's excused, but I just wanted to send out my heartfelt condolences to the Brings Plenty family. It's been really heavy on my heart all week. Name's James O'Leary. I have a wife, Megan. She's a teacher. She's just finishing up her degree, master's to be a principal. And then I have 2 kids, a 7-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter with a baby coming in August. I've made a lot of different things work as far as packing my cattle around and stuff like that. And I know I can make this work. Range Unit 236. I'm doing it, on my own, and I have a young family, and they're invested in it also. I always, I'm always honored to help out in a lot of different ways when asked. I donated a cow last year to the tribe. I try to always donate a bale to the Bigfoot riders when they come through. I always take them right down to Orville's Corrals. And then I move snow for the Sands Art community. Lala Gibb had always had me come down and do that. I've really believe in regenerative agricultural practices as far as just being a good caretaker of the land. And I've read up on the Grassland CRP program, so I know that, as far as the tribal units being a part of that program, that I know and understand it and would be able to, make sure that it's all done correctly for the tribe and for the people. So I've never had a unit, and I I know I can make this work. So, I guess always honored to help out in any way, which way that I can, and I just, yeah, I guess that's kind of all.
Well, thank you, James. Tribal Council, do you have any questions for Mr. O'Leary? Mr. Rose, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also wanted to note that Jimmy and his brother helped move the cemetery down on the Tree Road when the river was getting close about 3 years ago. At one of the residences there, I know Gibb asked them to help, and they dropped everything, no question, to help. And throughout the years, they've always donated cattle down there for feeds and such down on the Tree. Thank you.
You know, down there on the Tree, that a lot of people are, and everybody, it's my family. This is, you know, Cheyenne River is my home, and I'm willing to help out in any which, you know, way. And that's how I'm raising my children to do the same. And yeah, Red Dog's family cemetery needed to be moved, and the river was just getting too close, and we got it moved. I don't know. I guess I find it hard to bring them kinds of things up. I'm always happy to help, but I don't really, I guess, want to always talk about it. I'm happy to help. And yeah, it's one of them things that, you know, it's however and whenever. So.
Yep, that's some honorable man there. Don't want to talk about it. Just want to get it done. Tribal Council, you have any more comments or questions? Well, thank you, James, for coming in, and we want to say good luck to you, and we hope you get it.
Thank you, Council.
Tribal Council, let's take a break. Yeah, we'll take a break, Council. But don't go anywhere. and turn the live stream on. Okay, Council, we're back on record, and we got I think we have a couple of ballots still out. So whenever those come in, we'll get started. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like there's some doctors on council. Did you fold your hand in half like that? Oh. No, this one's not signed. That you? This one's pretty bad right here.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my PRCA autograph. I gotta do it fast all the time.
That's not Mary's. Let's go first.
I can put me first. I don't want to go. Put me last. I'll go first. Doesn't matter to me.
No, that's not even right. Go on, sit down. That's not important because you're the guy that's deciding and then you get your butt to.
Remember Reagan? Oh, are we live? We're live, guys. Huh? Yeah. But the weather's not good. Weather's not good. It's not me, They're live, my girl.
Chairman, this is the only thing on the agenda, right?
Yes, this is the only thing on the agenda,
Okay.
Council.
Thank you.
No, Lexi, Harold, and Sylvester want to come in.
Okay, I think we got everyone back, and we got all the papers in. First one we have on here, and this is in no particular order, but this one happens to be a Mary Miller White Bowl. And starting on the top of the list is Tony Duchenal. Next is Dylan Duchenal. Okay, next one is Tylen Gil LeBeau. Next we have Kristen Long. Next is Kelly LaPlante. Next is Cal Peterson. Next is Leroy Tom Roman. Next is Lucas and Melissa Curley. Next we have James O'Leary. Next is Robert Smith. Next is David Paziska. Next one is Roger Aberly. Next one is Lane Eaton. Next one is Jamie Whiteeyes. Okay, going on to the next tally sheet. This one's from Thad Rose. Okay, top of the list, it's Kristen Long. Next is Tylen Gil LeBeau. Hey, someone's recording me. Okay, third on the list, it's Tony Duchenal. The next one is Lucas, Melissa Curley, Megan Swan, Donald Swan. Next we have Cal Peterson. Next is Dylan Duchenal and Mary Jane Duchenal. Next is James O'Leary. Next we have David Lee and Lynn Paziska, Patrick Paziska. Next one is Leroy Jr., Tom, and Marcia Vroman. Next it's Roger Aberly. Next is Lane Eaton. Next one is Robert Smith, Brady Ward, Jay Smith. Next one is Callie LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Damian Grego, Amber LeBeau. Next one is Jamie and JC Whiteeyes. That's it for the Mr. Rose. We go on to Sharon Lee. And on top of Sharon's list is Tony Duchenal. Next is Callie LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Amber LeBeau, Damon Grego. Next is Kristen Long. Next one is Tylen Gil LeBeau, Cheyenne LeBeau. Okay, going on, it's Melissa and Lucas Curley, Megan Swan, Donald Swan. Next we have Tom and Marcia Vroman. Next one is Cal Peterson. Next is David, Lynn, Patrick Paziska. Next one's Robert Smith, Brady Ward, Jay Smith. Next is Lane Eaton. Next is James O'Leary. Roger Aberly. Jamie and JC Whiteeyes. Dylan Ducheneau, Mary Jane Ducheneau. And that would be all for Mrs. Lee. We go on to our next one. It's Duffy Thompson. Top of the list, it's Dylan Mary Jane Ducheneau. The next one is Lucas Melissa Curley Megan Donald Swan. Next is Roger Aberly. Next is Tylen Gill LeBeau, Cheyenne LeBeau. Next we have David Lynn Patrick Paziska. Next we have Callie LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Damon Gradigo, Amber LeBeau. Next is Kristen Long. Next, we have Cal Peterson. Next one's James O'Leary. The next one is Robert Smith, Brady Ward. Lane Eaton. Tony Ducheneau. Jamie and JC Whiteeyes. Leroy, Tom, and Marsha Vroman. And that would be all for Mr. Thompson. We go on to the next one. It's Kelsey Haskell. Councilwoman Haskell, her top of her list is Lucas and Melissa, Megan, and Donnie. Next one is Kristen Long, Dylan Ducheneau, Tony Ducheneau, Tylen LeBeau, James O'Leary, Cal Peterson, Lane Eaton, Dave and Pat Paziska, Tom and Marsha Vroman, Robert Smith, Brady Ward, Jay Smith. Next one's Jamie and JC Whiteeyes. Next is Roger Aberly. And the last one here is Callie LaPlante and Shannon Brown. That would be all for Councilwoman Haskell. We go on to Councilwoman Hall. And we start with Lucas, Melissa Curley, Megan Swan, Donald Swan. Next one is Dylan D. Ducheneau, Mary Jane Ducheneau. Next one is David Lynn Paziska, Patrick Paziska. Next is James O'Leary. Next is Kelly LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Damon Gray Eagle, Amber LeBeau. Next we have Jamie and JC Whiteeyes. Next one's Robert Smith, Brady Ward, Jay Smith. Next one's Cal Peterson. Next one's Kristen Long. Tylen Gill LeBeau, Cheyenne LeBeau. Tony Ducheneau. Leroy Jr., Tom Vroman, Marsha Vroman. Roger Aberly. Lane Eaton. That would be all for Mrs. Hall. Go on to the next evaluator, Mr. Steve Moran. On top of the list is Patrick Paziska, Leroy Tom Vroman, Lucas and Melissa Curley, Cal Peterson, James O'Leary, Robert Smith, Brady Ward, J. Smith, Kristen Long, Tylen Gill LeBeau, Cheyenne LeBeau, Lane Eaton, Roger Aberly, Jamie J.C. Whiteeyes, Kelly LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Grego LeBeau. Next is Dylan Ducheneau, Mary Jane Ducheneau, and Tony Ducheneau. That would be all for Mr. Moran's. We go on to Councilman Knife, Robert Smith, Brady Ward, David and Lynn Paziska, Lucas and Melissa Megan, Don Swan, Lane Eaton, Cal Peterson, Jamie J.C. Whiteeyes, Kristen Long, Tylen LeBeau, Cheyenne LeBeau, Tony Ducheneau, Leroy Jr., Tom Marshall Vroman, Dylan and Mary Jane Ducheneau, James O'Leary, Roger Aberly, Kelly LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Amber LeBeau. That would be all for Mr. Knife. We go on to Councilman Vice Chairman Walters, Dylan Ducheneau, Mary Jane Ducheneau, Melissa Lucas Curley, Donald Swan, Megan Swan, Tylen LeBeau, Cheyenne LeBeau, Jamie Whiteeyes, J.C. Whiteeyes, Kelly LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Amber LeBeau, Jim O'Leary, David Paziska, Lynn Paziska, Patrick Paziska. Okay, next one is Tony Ducheneau, Kristen Long, Robert Smith, Brady Ward, J. Smith, Cal Peterson, Leroy Marsha Vroman, Lane Eaton, That concludes Mr. Walters. We go on to Mr. Dupree's. Robert Smith, Brady Ward, Jay Smith. David Lynn, Patrick Paziska. James O'Leary. Lucas, Melissa Curley, Megan Swan, Donald Swan. Kelly LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Damon Grego, Amber LeBeau. Dylan Duchesneau, Mary Jane Duchesneau. Tony Duchesneau. Tylin Gill LeBeau, Cheyenne LeBeau. Jamie and JC White Eyes. Lane Eaton. Kristen Long. Cal Peterson. Leroy Jr., Tom, Marsha Roman. Roger Averly. That concludes Mr. Dupree's. We go on to Mr. John Kessler. First one is Lucas, Melissa, Megan, Swan, Don Swan. Dylan and Mary Jane Duchesneau. David and Lynn Paziska, Patrick Paziska. Tom and Marsha Roman. Tylin Gill LeBeau, Cheyenne LeBeau. Cal Peterson. Robert Smith, Brady Ward. Lane Eaton. James O'Leary. Tony Duchesneau. Kristen Long. Roger Aberly. Kelly LaPlante, Shannon Brown, Amber LeBeau. Jamie and JC White Eyes. That concludes Mr. Kessler's, and that's all the tally sheets. Do you need a minute to review that, Miss Medicine Blanket? Are you ready? Council, looks like there's majority points goes to the Curly, Melissa, Don Swan, 131 points.
Second.
We got a motion by Mr. Walters, second by Ms. Lee, to award the range unit 236 to Melissa, Don Swan, and Mr. Curley. Megan. Okay, Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Woods, absent. Steve Moran.
Yes.
Ted Knife Jr. Yes. John Kessler.
Yes.
Kenrick Dupree's. Sharon Lee.
Yes.
Mary Miller. Kelsey Haskell.
Yes.
Thad Rose.
Yes.
Derek Bartlett. Absent. Francine Hall.
Yes.
Joe Brinksplenny. Absent. Bob Walters. Tuffy Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, we got 11 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 3 absent. Motion carries. Congratulations to the Swan and Curley families. And the rest of the applicants, we thank you for applying, and we wish you luck on the next one. We got a motion to adjourn by Mrs. Whitebull, second by Mr. Knife. All in favor, raise your hand. Eleven yes, 0 no, motion carries. Council, we stand adjourned at 1:34. We'll ask for a closing prayer by Mr. Moran. Can you give us a closing prayer? Palamaya. Thank you, council. Have a good rest of the day.
you.